The 2021 championship is coming up soon. It will be hosted on November 20th in Toronto, Ontario. If you are interested in competing, seats are limited, so sign up as soon as possible. To learn more, go to www.genesisboc.com/championship. Let's get back to the video. Hey champions, like I mentioned in a previous video, today, starting, last Friday, Saturday, I don't remember when, but spotlight videos I'm going to keep separate from the actual vlog videos. One, it creates more content, so it allows us to get a little bit more views, hopefully help promote us on the platform a little bit better. And two, it helps separate the information. Some people come to these videos for the spotlight, some come for other things. So let's talk about the pillars. It's already on the screen. There's not much to jump into here. So let's talk about the card breakdown. For 5G, you get a 6 health alteration. I'm going to be going through, there are 4 of them. Air, earth, water, fire. They all functionally do the exact same thing. They're just in different affiliations. So Bellum, we have the air pillar. They all create for 10 aura. They all do their branding. So air pillar does air branding. Everything else on or adjacent to the pillar gains the brand. And they're all uncommons. In J2, they were rares and rays. So they were all created by me. Artwork is always done by Alexandra. We now have 2 Alexes in the company, so one's Alex, one's Alexandra. So artwork, I'm gonna actually just do a slide deck and we'll go through, see them all because they're just gorgeous artworks. Part of the reason why I got Alexandra to do all the artworks is so that they'll stay consistent. There's having the same artist create a series of pieces together gives them the same feel. And we got the electric pillar there, which if you know your Patreon promo for November, it's gonna be, you'll get the early access promo of electric pillar. So if you come to the championship and you're part of Patreon, by the end of the month, you'll have 6 cards from Origins, which is a huge jump up. So, the artwork, absolutely gorgeous. I think Alexandra did an amazing job with these, and they're actually based around 4 pillars that are found in the Philippines, I believe, and each one's made by a different material, and we use those as references when trying to determine these pillars. So altogether, amazing job there. So it's hard to talk about the pillars without mentioning Dark Brand. Dark Brand was seen very heavily played in the Rain OTK deck. The value here was the fact that for each attack ability you're playing, you're dealing the additional 1 damage. So if you played 3 attack abilities, you need 1 less Shadow Claw. So 1 card could add up to being a few more cards in your deck. So it's how the deck stayed more efficient. Dark Brand was definitely very valuable. Dark Brand itself, I didn't like. Looking back at it, if I were to redesign it, one of my biggest issues with it was the fact that it is not bounded. Anyone can use it from anywhere to just give the entire arena Dark Weakness. This could work counteractively for you. You might get Dark Weakness and all of a sudden your opponent turns around and hits you with a bunch of dark damage. But more often than not, that wasn't happening. And so the Dark Brand was essential for the Rain OTK. I didn't like the way it was formed. I thought that the better approach were these alterations, creating the pillars. And it gave alterations a more of a substantial role in the game itself. However, when Rays came out, we realized, yes, the pillars were valuable. People built decks around them. But putting them at rares really hurt the players' chances of getting the pillars they wanted and in the quantities they wanted. And that's why we dropped them down to uncommon in JLR 2nd edition. Alright, so that's some of the history behind the card. Let's talk about, in my opinion, where they sit. The strongest of all the pillars is Fire Pillar, if I'm correct. There's just a lot of things that synergize with it. It works really well. It's either Fire Pillar or Earth Pillar, because Earth Pillar, being in Thymos, allows you to combine it with Landslide, and these 2 cards together create a very devastating combo. Running it in an Erica deck, you do get the Baihus as well. But there isn't a whole lot that kind of combos with it after that. I've built decks around Air Pillar. There's a lot of pieces of the puzzle there to make Air Pillar really strong. The problem that air pillar suffers from, or the air deck suffer from, is some sort of finisher, some sort of big creature, big spell, big technique that does air damage, and there's none of that in the game right now. The best you can do is use a card like Elemental Mastery to switch your attacks to doing air damage, and then do some big finisher like a Substrike, but that's not going to get you very far, and it's too much, it's too techy for the tempo of the game. Uh, so I did make a very successful air deck that I enjoyed with a lot. I played with Kun, and it worked out, and it was wonderful. But would I go back to use that in a competitive setting? Probably not. I might do it at locals, but I probably wouldn't play it at the championship. The weakest of all the pillars right now is Water Pillar, despite the fact that you think it would pair really well with Tsunami and Makara and Mongol, and you can make a good Sahas water deck. I just haven't seen someone do it, but the pieces are there. I think what's missing aren't the pieces, it's the player. And finding the right person who can make that deck work is really what's separating it from being very successful. All in all, I do like the pillars. There's a reason why, even though we don't see a lot of play with them right now, I did advocate for Electric Pillar going into Origins. And I think that there's a future for them where they'll be very, very valuable. The problem with making more cards like the pillars is that it leans the game towards a more OTK deck. It leans the game towards a higher tempo deck. And that's something we're trying to pull away from. We think that the game's moving too fast, so hopefully starting in Invasions and afterwards we'll try to course correct ourselves. But the pillars definitely increase tempo, and that's definitely a challenge for us on the game design front. And I'm sure you as players, you'd like to spend a little bit more time enjoying the game compared to just having it end really quickly and then to be over with. So that's my thought. I love the pillars. I have created multiple PvE formats based around the pillars. I think that they work phenomenally for that reason. But we'll see let's see what your thoughts are. If you run the pillars, let me know. What deck do you build around them? Is this something you're waiting for? Are you looking forward to the Electric Pillar, and what would you build with it? And if you're using any of the current pillars, in what quantity are you using them? How are you building around them? Do you think that they're too strong, too weak? How does it change the game for you? That's all for now. Have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye. I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to all our Patreon supporters. You have helped us so much during the hard times of COVID, and we are extremely grateful. As things begin to get better, I look forward to finding a time to meet you all in person one day, hopefully at a Genesis Championship. Thank you for being so awesome.